Fresh news leads to fresh moves. Whenever a stock has a news for that particular day, it is likely to make a move. These are called stocks in play. You can make a lot of money by trading stocks in play. In fact, today I made $5,000 trading a stock which was in play, and I made that money in the first 15 minutes of the open by finding a stock which had a news and shorting it. So if you want to make money trading news, you need to understand that what kind of a news can move a stock. One of the news which moves stocks big is earnings news. If a stock has earnings, and if the earnings is significantly better than what the market expected, or it is significantly worse than what the market expected, then the stock will either go up or the stock will go down. So in order to profit from this, you need free information sites which can find you this kind of an information. I will show you some free tools which you can use to find news-based trades, and many of these trades can be just one-day trades, or some of these trades can be trades which can go up for months and sometimes for years. So this is a very good way to make money in the market. One of the first site which I'm going to show you is called EarningsWhisper. EarningsWhisper is a free site which you can use to find news related to earnings. When you go to the EarningsWhisper homepage, what you're going to find is that on the EarningsWhisper homepage, there is a tab called Calendar. And when you go to the tab called Calendar or EarningsWhisper, you're going to find this kind of a page. And there is a news. This is all the stock. These are all the stocks which had news afterwards. If you want to see which stock had before market open news, these are the stock which had before market. So before market, after market close, you can see news here. So Volt had a earning surprise of 57%. So Volt might tomorrow make a move. So that is how you can find these stocks which have earnings. So this is just one of the sites which you can look for when you're looking at earnings related stocks. But this is not the only site which has good earnings related news. There is another site which has earnings in a tabular form, and it is easy to navigate if it is in a tabular form. And that site's name is Zacks.com. So I will show you the Zacks.com site. When you go to the Zacks.com site, what you're going to see is that it has the page which will look like this. What you have to do when you go to that page is basically go to this earnings releases tab. So earnings releases, when you go to earnings releases, you'll see a table like this. Now there are 2 pages, but you can reduce that to just like one page by going in for 100. And then you can sort it. So Volt is a stock which had earnings after hours, right? So Volt, if you look at it, it is a stock which has had earnings after hours, right? So you can see that in the after hours, it already started going up based on the news, right? Tomorrow, the stock might make a move based on this kind of a earnings news. So the Zacks is very good at finding surprises, and typically I pay attention to the stocks which have 100%, 200% surprise. You can also look for sales surprise. Sales surprise tends to move stock bigger than earnings surprise. So if there is a big sales surprise, in this case, the sales surprise was only 5.44%. So it's not a big thing. What you want to see is you want to see a surprise, which is a big surprise, right? That kind of a surprise can lead to a big move. So Zacks is second site, which is free, completely free. Now, there are other tools which you can use, which can also find this information instantly, very quickly. One of the sites which I showed you, the first site, EarningsWhisper, it has a Twitter page. On that Twitter page, if you go and follow that page, it will push the earning news into your Twitter feed. So let's look at that particular site and how you can use that to find free money in the market. So let's go to, when you go to Twitter, look for earnings news, right? This is a page which is by EarningsWhisper, Earnings News. And when you go to this particular page, you look at tweets and replies, what you'll see is that as soon as earnings comes out for any stock, right, they will start tweeting about it. So 55 minutes ago, there was a earnings news on ETW, and they had that. 1 hour ago, there was a news on KVH. So this is a very good and a free source which can help you find information pushed to you on Twitter, and then you can use that information to look for stocks which are big earnings surprise or a negative earnings surprise. So this is the third tool which you can use for finding news related to earnings. Now there is another tool which you can get a more color to that earnings, or you can get a news related to the earnings. Part of it is free and part of it is paid, like in the sense the free site is only going to give you little bit information, the paid site gives you more information, and that site is called the Fly. So on the Fly, if you go to the Fly main page in the morning or evening, you will see Wall Street in 5 must read list for Wednesday. But when you go to this site in the morning, it will show you stocks. It will say look at stocks which had like after hours movers or stocks which are in play kind of a thing. So if you go to this particular tab, what you will see, or story, you will see stocks in news. Biogen was a stock which was in news today, right? I think I'm not showing the page, but here is the page, right? If you go to the home of the Fly, and if you go here, right, this is like the lead article. It will summarize the news, and this is the beauty of this site. It summarizes the main news, so that way you don't have to scroll through 50, 100 items of news. Now, most of the time, I find my trades in the morning using the Fly, where there is a summary of news or summary of stocks which have released news last night and which have reacted positively or negatively to that news, because you want the stock to react to that news also. So here, like it will allow you to find stocks news, and this is free again. I'm not logged in, even though I have paid service. I'm not using a paid service when I'm showing you this. And you can also see some of the stocks here which will be in news kind of a thing, but the summary is what I look for. And this is currently, when I'm recording this video, it's only 5:22, but at some stage what you're going to do, what you'll find on the Fly in the night is a summary post which is saying after hours movers, and it will summarize those stickers which are after hours movers, and it will tell you why this particular stock was going up or going down in after hours. So the Fly is another good source of finding free information about stocks which are making big moves based on news. Now, how can you use this information to make money? I'll show you 2 examples of stocks from the last 2 days where you could have used news to find a good move. Now let's look at one of the first example of a stock called ILMN, Illumina, right? This particular stock on this particular day, which was yesterday, made a 16% move or 17% move. And this was based on a news. If you go and see yesterday, before the market opened, Illumina came out with a news, and it said that yesterday, right? It said that it is EPS of, it sees EPS of 4.0 or 4.20, consensus is 4.03, right? And it sees revenue of approximately 1.19. So it pre-announced the earnings, right? So this was done yesterday, or no, day before yesterday, after the market closed. And what happened yesterday because of that news was the stock made 16% news. This news was available to you before the market opened. Let's look at an example from today, right? Today there was a stock which had a news in the morning, DoorDash, okay? DoorDash had a news early morning, right? And it said that DoorDash has been upgraded or done some sort of upgrade, and as a result, the stock was up or it was gapping up in the morning, right? And in this market, because the market is weak, these kind of stocks, which are these marginal. It was not a major news, but the stock was gapping up almost 5, 6, $7 based on this news. So I saw the news and I pointed it out also to members, saying that this particular stock is a short. And if you see from the opening print, the stock kept going up. It went up a little bit, but after that it kept going down. So I shorted this stock and I made like around $5,000 in this trade. And completely this trade was based on news. There is another trade which I found using news. Today, INMD was one of the stocks which was in news in the morning, and it said that it is marginally increased its earnings or like guided higher, and the stock again gapped up $4 or $5 based on that news. And then I shorted it and the stock went down. So you can use news to make money either for just a short-term trade, or you can use it to find trades which are going to make a multi-year, multi-month kind of a move. Many times if you're looking for episodic pivot, they start with the news. If you look at last year, like there's a stock which had a earnings news, GRWZ, right? On this particular day, the stock had a earnings news, and in the pre-market itself you need this earnings news, and based on that earnings news, just in a matter of 5 days, the stock made 140% move or 131% move in 5 days. So news can be extremely profitable if you develop the ability to track news and find news which is likely to move a stock, and then trade stocks which are in news. So if you are serious about making money in the market, spend 10 minutes. It takes 10 minutes or 15 minutes to look at news in the morning or in the after hours, and then put those stocks on your watch list and look for setups on them. And you will always find opportunities in stocks with news.